Back in September 2020, we sold our house in the UK, then moved to Normandy in France, where we bought an ancient French farmhouse with various outbuildings, including an old barn, a small cottage with 2 woodlands, and 3.5 acres of pastured land in a beautiful national park area. Follow us on our journey as Budo and I renovate the farmhouse, manage our land, and take on many projects for you to enjoy. Let the fun begin.
No laughing. Hang on, Lionel. Yeah, watch your toes. Careful. Oh, good. It's good. Look at that. That broke that oak. Step on. Yeah, climb up there. Number 1, chestnut.
You think it's okay like this?
I think, to the side, line up. Like this, yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah. So, here. This one, ladder.
Good.
Give me a high five, bro. That's the first 2. So they're chestnut. They're the 2 small ones. So we've got 2 more chestnuts, and then we've got 2 oaks as well to come. They're the longer ones, they're going over there. But there's a bit of weight there. Okay folks, so I have Diddy the farmer, he's picked me up another log. This one here is a chestnut as well. So we're putting it on the trailer, we're going to get 2 on again. So I'm just going to jump over here while we're talking. Give some guidance. Yes. Yes. That's down. So that's another chestnut tree. This is an older one that was cut quite a while ago, which is a good thing. So I need a big tractor. So this is Diddy's yard. He cuts the trees. There's the woodlands over there. Just love it. And that's what he feeds his cows with. There. So Tracy, what do you think of our? I
think they're beautiful.
Beautiful, aren't they? These ones are fresher cut over here, and these ones are the older cut ones we've just brought back. But there's quite a bit of tonnage on there. So we've got Lionel helping us today. Say hello, Lionel.
Hello, everybody.
This is our French neighbour, our beautiful neighbour from France. Anyway, let's get them off. What?
You don't realise, do you, how big the actual trunks are?
Yeah.
When the tree is upright, but when it's obviously come down. I mean, look how wide.
Yeah, these are big old trees. They're over 100 years old.
Right, folks, the logs are now off onto their timbers. You could tell that Lionel and Budo have done this before. Budo's looking for some water, a lake, so he can practice his log dancing. I wouldn't get too cocky. You might. Lionel, jump on top.
You have to show us your skills. No, it's okay.
Show us the French way. So that's fantastic. So what do you have to pick up now?
We've got 2 oak or chêne.
Chêne. So
longer, so we have 1 at a time.
So do chêne long.
Yeah, so I'm going to take this back off and then we can just strap it in.
Fantastic.
But you can see the smile on my face. Look.
Yes.
When I start working on these, I can't wait.
Fantastic.
So these 4 here are going to probably be for planking or planche. And the Juliet balcony, the 2 oaks. If there's enough in the oak, if I can cut enough out of the oak, then that will build the porch.
Fantastic.
And you'll watch the process, so this will be exciting.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay folks, so they were the first 2. They were the second 2 logs. And they ain't light, I tell you, these logs. And these were the 2 bad boys over here. We got caught out with the rain, so we got a bit soaked. I'm soaked through at the moment now, but I'm just going to show you this. And then so these 2 here are oak. They call it chêne in France. And I'm going to turn these 2 into a beautiful oak porch. So I've got to cut all these. I've got my little hacksaw ready to cut it all down. No, not really. I'm just waiting for my new chain bar to come because my old chain bar, the long one I have, is worn out a bit, so I don't want to take a risk. So I'm going to use a brand new one that's coming from Germany. Should be here tomorrow. So what do you think? These logs in I wouldn't like to think what they'd cost me in the UK, but here they were very cheap, 240 euros for all 6. And believe me, that sounds a lot of money to people, but it's very cheap. If I bought the oak and I bought it sectioned, cut, it would be into the thousands. So, and also it gives me a little bit of YouTubing videos to show you guys how I process things like this. Being a carpenter, this is how you do it from the beginning to the finished product, which you will see. But I'm going to go in now because it's absolutely starting to team it down, and crack on. Folks, so just want to have a talk about what I'm up to today. Well, in between the rain, it started raining again. We had a couple of more days again of it, just relentless at the moment. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm processing these oak logs ready to make the porch, and there's quite a lot of work involved in this, and so I'm going to spin you around and just show you what we're at. So these are 2 oak logs that I'm going to be processing. You can see this one, I've taken all the bark off of it. I didn't have a bark spud here, so I had to make one. So I got this old bit of steel tube I've got, and I cut a bolster, a 2-inch bolster. I cut the end up here so it could go in, slide into that tube. Then I just cut the tube down each side and then hammered it flat to pinch the bolster in, which is good enough. And then I just put a big bevel on one side and a little bevel on the other side, so I let it bevel down like that, and then that'll push along like that and it will just rip the bark out. Let me just show you the process and you'll understand. So it goes under the bark like that. I'm doing this one-handed, so I won't be able to get a bit of power behind it, but you can see what the process is. All right, 2-handed it's much easier. And I just saw a little grub chop out then. I'm going to show you that. So this is your woodworm. It's like a little maggot. There you go, see that? Don't know if you can see that, guys. And this is the little fella that bores all the holes in the wood, and there's plenty of them in here. They're always, these ones I think are more concentrated on bark, you know, they work on bark, the softness of the bark, and it's wet and it's been sitting down. But there you can see holes in the tree all over, and this will be from the Cambion level they eat, which is this line here roughly, goes all the way around. So we're not worried about that part of the wood, we want this part of the wood here, okay, the hard bit. Anyway, so started to debark that one, got fed up with that, so I'll come back onto this one. So I started processing. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this by hand and a chainsaw. So you can see there I've made the first cut, straight down, straight through, as deep as my saw would go. I'm just waiting for my other one to turn up. It's supposed to turn up 2 days ago and it still hasn't come. So it should be here today, hopefully, or tomorrow. And what it is the bar. I'll show you on this saw here. So this is my little chainsaw, the one I marked the lines out on. This is called your bar, and that's your chain, obviously. All right. I'm just waiting for another bar that's coming, which is a, was it a 32 or a 30? Anyway, let's say it was a 30 inch or a 75 mil, something like that. So it's much longer. Sorry about the wind, guys. It's just windy and rain for days. Anyway, that will go right through that log easily. So what I've done is I set a line up. I just put a pin in there, a nail, put a line on to the other end. That distance between there and there is about 5.5 inches, if I'm right. Just get me tape. Yeah, so that's 5.5 inches, and I'll cut it this side of the line. I'll score a line all the way down the log, right through, with my chainsaw. So that gives me the mark, and then I'll plumb this line down here, on here, and then I'll just cut through, and I'll just do that. So I'll get that thickness at least 3 times out of that log, and then I should get that way going down about at least 3, maybe 4. So that gives me around about 9 to 12 5x5s, and that's as much as I need for the porch. And then this one I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. I might need bits for the porch, but we've got it there anyway. If it's not, it'll be planked up to 2 inch, and then I'll use that for other projects like making kitchen work surfaces or something. But if you can see here, this first cut is going to give me a really shallowed out top beam here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one, rather than 5.5 inches, I'm going to probably make this one about 8, and then cut the others out at 5, and then I can use that for the arched front. I can get the arched front out of that piece there, so it's not wasting too much. But anyway, so I'll try and time lapse some of the cutting for you, pending the rain. Look, it's coming again. It's relentless. You get set up and then it comes and then it goes and then it comes. It's just annoying me at the moment, but hey ho, we've got to deal with it, and we just get on. So you're going to see from the log to the finished porch eventually, the whole process. No one in between. All it is was the farmer lifting it onto the trailer, and then me making everything, the process. And you can see down here all the bark has come off, okay, and on this side as well. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay folks, so I'm going to explain now what I've done. So that was my first cut, and it looks like a lot of waste here, but it's nothing, because this runs in here and it only leaves about 1/2 inch in the middle, because the log is bowing round that way and the log is bowing down and up that way. Okay, I ain't gonna spend time just flattening this log out first, squaring it up and then cutting it up. I'm gonna cut it slabs out and then take out from the slabs what I need. Okay, so I've worked out between this Cambion level here, just here, say, so that's the sappy rubbishy wood I don't want, and this is the good stuff. From this nail point to the centre of that line, dropping down here, comes down 2.5 inches. Okay, and that will touch the edge of this. That's minusing this as well. Okay, so out of this slab here I'm going to get 4 pieces. Out of this slab I'm going to be getting 3 pieces, and out of this slab I'm getting 2. So in total I'll have a 9. I should have 9 pieces, which I need. All right, then on the end here, this is going to be, because this log is now bowing out that way, so I can slab out 2" and 2" for future projects out of this edge, and then just set them to dry, because this is green wood, this is green oak we're working with here, and it's heavy. Anyway, let me just explain that to you as well about the line. So if you can see the line on here, okay, now the line down to the outside of the tree plus the minus the 2.5 inches, that's the bow that's in this timber that I can't, you know, there's nothing I can do about that, that's just what it is. So let's hope we get 4 out of there, and I should get 4, because that leaves me, I think, 26 inches between the rubbishy bit at the bottom and the bit where I've got cut down to, and I need 5 inches, so I'm going to be cutting these at 5.5 inches, so then I can dress them up and plane them there. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to get up on here, and I'm going to start peeling this back from that end, just coming back this way and just taking out a line that's in level with this, so I can remove this line, and then I'll come down the ends and I'll just cut down, because these are plumb lines. I've plumbed these down with a level, so we're working off the log as it is. Now when I cut this first one out, it'll be fine, but when I cut this second one out, before I go to cut it all the way through, and I won't be today because I haven't got a long enough bar, I'm going to have to put some uprights here, both sides, just to stop any movement of the log, because it's a big old slab and it's very heavy, and I don't want to get my feet trapped, or I don't want to slip off it while I've got the chainsaw buzzing round, and I'll be working from up on the top of there. I would not advise anyone to have a go at this if you're not confident with using tools, and, you know, chainsaws especially. Anyone can, you know, have an accident, but if you're not sure, you will have an accident if you're not sure and determine what you're doing. Remember we said about chainsaws is keeping the blades very sharp, and it's actually better for you and the saw, because the saw don't over labour, and the chains, if they're sharp, they cut more freely, and that gets you through the wood. Anyway guys, let me get myself started. Okay folks, so what you just saw me do was score this line down straight through the log. So I've gone straight through the log, about this deep maybe, just to get the line where I'm going to cut down to. And then as I was coming in the end here, my saw was being held slightly at an angle. So what you do is you come back to this end and you recorrect that as deep as you can go in, and come down this line, straight line here. So they're the 5x5s that I want to be getting out of this, going all the way through a rock. Okay, so now I can remove this line and I can cut down as deep as I can get with my saw. I'm limited at the moment, but you'll see me doing it with the big bar and cutting these slabs, releasing them off the log if you like. But I won't be doing that today, because I'm waiting for this long bar to come back and chain as well. So you get the gist of it, what I'm doing. So I'm going to have 5, 5 and a 5. They're actually cut more than 5, so I can plane them and dress them up. So they're about 5.5, just over 5.5. So that gives me about a 1/4 inch side, and I'll do the same when I cut them that way as well. But I won't be able to cut them here that way. What'll happen is I'll be lifting these slabs up with a digger, putting them on the saw horses here, and then I'll be doing it from up on top of there. So, and then once they're to there, then I can start hand planing it, or whatever I've got to do just to get it all nice and shaped. But anyway, you get the gist of it. So you saw me cut straight through there.
This road is long. we go far. Listen, baby.